In the sprawling and complicated landscape of Middle Eastern geopolitics, a fresh flashpoint is emerging, threatening to widen the existing conflict. At the center of this latest development is a sharp denial and a direct accusation from Iran's most formidable military wing, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. The IRGC has categorically rejected any involvement in a reported attack on the U.S. embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Instead, they have turned the spotlight on Israel. According to a report first published by the Wall Street Journal, the IRGC, in an official statement, asserted the incident was absolutely unrelated to Iran's armed forces. They further alleged that the attack was a strategic ploy by Israel given its regional objectives. The statement from the IRGC did not stop at this accusation. It went on to issue a stark warning to countries across West Asia. The message was clear: remain vigilant against what Iran perceives as a concerted effort by America and Israel to destabilize the region. The IRGC's pronouncement is a part of escalating tensions that have flared since the assassination of Ali Kham on February 28th. Ali Kham, a prominent figure, was killed alongside several senior commanders and civilians, an event that has significantly raised the stakes in the region. Iran has accused both the United States and Israel of initiating a large-scale military campaign following this assassination. In retaliation, Iranian forces claim to have executed waves of strikes targeting American and Israeli positions spread throughout the region. The situation is further complicated by Saudi Arabia's growing dissatisfaction with the United States. Reports from the Financial Times suggest that there is an utter sense of disappointment in Riyadh regarding President Donald Trump's approach to the conflict with Iran. Analysts and officials express concern over what is perceived as erratic decision-making and unpredictable messaging emanating from the West. IT House. At the crux of Saudi Arabia's unease are President Trump's public threats to target Iranian energy infrastructure, including power plants. Gulf officials fear that such a move could provoke large-scale retaliation across the region. The kingdom's diplomats have reportedly reached out to U.S. counterparts, warning that an escalation of this nature could unleash missile attacks that regional defenses might not be able to fully absorb. Additionally, Saudi Arabia's discomfort is compounded by President Trump's suggestion that Gulf countries could be expected to shoulder the financial burden of the war, despite having minimal control over its direction. Analysts suggest this has reinforced a perception among Saudi leaders that the U.S. is treating its regional partners as expendable stakeholders and financial backers without offering clear strategic guidance. Adding to the complexity of the situation, the Wall Street Journal has reported on an alleged blackout concerning the act, tool damage inflicted by an Iranian attack on the American embassy in Riyadh last month. The report claims that an Iranian drone attack caused more extensive damage than was publicly disclosed. According to these accounts, an Iranian drone successfully evaded air defenses and struck the U.S. embassy compound. A second drone reportedly followed, exploiting the breach created by the first, and also exploded. The nighttime attack penetrated a secure section of the embassy, which during working hours could have been a scene of mass casualties. The damage inflicted was reportedly severe, affecting 3 floors, including the CIA station housed within the embassy. Former CIA counterterrorism chief Bernard Hudson, who has extensive experience in the Persian Gulf, including Saudi Arabia, remarked on the sophistication of Iran's capabilities, noting their ability to produce an indigenously made weapon and deliver it accurately to the heart of their adversaries' operations. Hudson alleged that there had been a complete blackout on the actual amount of damage done to these locations. The embassy attack is not an isolated incident. Iran has struck at other American assets, including a U.S. aircraft at the Prince Sultan Air Base, which reportedly damaged an E-3 AWACS radar plane and refueling tankers, wounding about a dozen troops, including 2 in serious condition. In response, the United States and Israel have launched more than 20,000 airstrikes targeting Iran's military infrastructure, top leaders, and civilian facilities, including educational institutions, water plants, and bridges. Iran, in turn, has fiercely retaliated, targeting sensitive American assets and the Gulf's critical energy infrastructure, airports, and shipping lanes. A media report has surfaced with shocking allegations that the Pentagon, under Donald Trump's leadership, might have concealed the true extent of U.S. casualties in the Middle East conflict. This revelation adds another layer to an already convoluted and dangerous geopolitical situation, underscoring the escalating tensions and the precarious balance of power in the region. As the world watches with bated breath, the stakes continue to rise, with the potential for further destabilization looming large over an already volatile Middle East. The evolving situation in the Middle East is becoming increasingly complex as Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, vehemently denies any involvement in a reported attack on the U.S. embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Instead, the IRGC has accused Israel of orchestrating the incident. This accusation was first reported by the Wall Street Journal, which cited an official statement from the IRGC asserting the incident was absolutely unrelated to Iran's armed forces. The statement further suggested that the attack was a strategic move by Israel to advance its regional objectives. The IRGC's warning to countries across West Asia emphasized vigilance against what Iran perceives as a collaborative effort by the United States and Israel to destabilize the region. This assertion comes amid heightened tensions following the assassination of Ali Kham on February 28. Kham, a significant figure in the region, was killed alongside several senior commanders and civilians, a development that has intensified regional stakes. Iran has accused the United States and Israel of initiating a large-scale military campaign in the aftermath of this assassination. In response, Iranian forces claim to have launched numerous retaliatory strikes targeting American and Israeli positions throughout the region. The conflict's complexity is further exacerbated by Saudi Arabia's growing dissatisfaction with the United States. Reports from the Financial Times indicate an utter sense of disappointment in Riyadh concerning President Donald Trump's handling of the conflict with Iran. Analysts and officials have expressed concerns over what they perceive as erratic decision-making and used predictable messaging from the White House. Saudi Arabia's unease is rooted in several factors, including Trump's public threats to target Iranian energy infrastructure, such as power plants. Gulf officials fear this could provoke large-scale retaliation across the region. Diplomatic sources reveal that multiple Arab states urgently reached out to U.S. officials following such remarks, warning that escalation could trigger missile attacks that regional defenses might struggle to withstand. Additionally, Riyadh's discomfort is compounded by Trump's suggestion that Gulf countries could be expected to shoulder the financial cost of the war, despite lacking control over its trajectory. Analysts suggest this has reinforced a perception within Saudi leadership that the U.S. is treating regional partners as both stakeholders and financiers without providing corresponding strategic clarity. In a separate development, U.S. officials have been accused of concealing the actual damage sustained from an Iranian attack on the American embassy in Riyadh last month. According to a Wall Street Journal report, an Iranian drone attack on the embassy caused more extensive damage than was publicly disclosed. The report states that an Iranian drone managed to evade air defenses and struck the U.S. embassy compound. A second drone reportedly followed, exploiting the breach created by the first and causing additional destruction. The nighttime strikes are said to have penetrated a secured section of the embassy, heavily damaging 3 floors, including the Central Intelligence Agency station. Although more Iranian drones were intercepted later that night, debris fell near a preschool, highlighting the potential for collateral damage. Bernard Hudson, a former CIA counterterrorism chief with experience in Persian Gulf states, including Saudi Arabia, commented on Iran's capability to produce an indigenous weapon, strike across hundreds of miles, and target the embassy of a major adversary. He alleged a complete blackout on the actual damage inflicted. Elsewhere, Iran targeted a U.S. aircraft at the Prince Sultan Air Base, damaging an E-3 AWACS radar plane and refueling tankers. About a dozen U.S. troops were injured in the attack, with 2 in serious condition. In response, U.S. and Israeli forces have conducted over 20,000 airstrikes, killing Iran's top leaders, dismantling much of its military infrastructure, and significantly damaging civilian infrastructure, including educational institutions, water plants, and bridges. Iran has retaliated fiercely, targeting sensitive American assets along with the Gulf's energy infrastructure, airports, and ships. A media report has alleged that the Pentagon, under Donald Trump, might have withheld the true extent of U.S. troop casualties in the Middle East conflict. This allegation underscores the opaque nature of information dissemination during wartime, adding another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. And the Middle East conflict continues to evolve, with each development potentially reshaping regional dynamics. As countries navigate the geopolitical landscape, the interplay between military actions, diplomatic communications, and strategic alliances will be crucial in determining the conflict's trajectory. Understanding these elements is essential for stakeholders seeking to mitigate risks and promote stability in the region.